experts and trailblazers to help you advance in your career, step into the leader you are meant to be, build wealth, and ultimately create financial freedom.
Welcome back, Trailblazers. If you're new here, I'm Alicia. Today I'm hanging out with Carlos Hawkins. Carlos,
Hey,
it's great to meet you.
thank you, Alicia. How are you doing today?
I'm awesome. I know we're going to have a good time. Kick us off. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Carlos Hawkins. I own a credit repair company here in Minnesota. We focus on helping customers that have derogatory marks on their credit or identify opportunities for them to help improve their credit as a whole.
Fantastic. So needed. I know we talked about it a little bit before we hit record, not something that we learn in school or if we go on to college. So I'm super excited to have this conversation and really bring awareness to the topic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What led you to this line of work?
I went through a lot of tough financial decisions early on coming out of school. And once I ruined my credit after going through a divorce and I personally started working on mine myself, I said, why don't I start helping my friends and family? So I started there. And then once I saw results helping with them, I said I want to make it a business. And, at the end of the day, my goal is to kind of help people achieve the goals that they can't see. They're saying if you can see the invisible, you could do the impossible. And that's basically what I help them see, the impossible. So I try to point them in the right direction with their credit.
Yeah. Oh, this is awesome. So this is kind of a topic that people get pretty hopeless over, right? It's hard to see the things that are a possibility in this situation when you're in the middle of a struggle or a financial hardship or a ton of debt. Tell me what types of things you're doing. And I know that this is a whole process, so we can't go over the whole thing, but tell me the types of things that we should be aware of that are a possibility that maybe aren't what we might automatically think of, like bankruptcy or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of people automatically think bad credit equals bankruptcy, right? But not necessarily the case, because a lot of items might be old accounts that they can get removed off their credit, or there's some type of discrepancy that they don't see because they don't understand how to read the credit report. So that's why you hire an expert, right? Because a lot of times the report has a lot of discrepancies. I think over 80% of credit reports in the United States have some type of discrepancy, but customers just don't know how to go about taking care of it, right? So bringing in a company like myself would help. The credit repair industry is a very high scam industry, I would say. So find a reputable company that's actually licensed and bonded in your state, even myself, are the type of way you want to go. So you can make sure you're getting quality work for the money you're paying.
Yeah. You mentioned in your state. Is this something that you can do anywhere, or does it have to be within your state?
No, I could do it anywhere in the United States. It's a big thing. My reach is to help as many people as I can. My goal is to help 5 million, which is a stretch, right? So we'll start with 500. So I just definitely want to help as many people as I can through the continental U.S., the United States.
That's fantastic. So what types of things do you typically see on a credit report that can be taken care of and taken off?
Yeah, so collection accounts, primarily the personal information. So any account that's tied to an old address that is removed, that account would also be removed too. So that's why it's very important to update your personal information on a credit report. Late payments, those can be taken off. Repossessions, tax liens shouldn't be on your credit no more. Child support can be taken off. The hardest thing is late payments on active accounts. But overall, any discrepancy on your account could be corrected based on the consumer laws that are in place for us consumers to challenge negative items on our credit.
Interesting. So talk to me a little bit about those laws. What kinds of things are on the books that we maybe don't even know about?
Well, all information has to be the same across all three credit bureaus. That's the biggest thing. But you see a lot of people look at their credit report and there's 4 different scores or 3, and they don't know why. So that's basically the baseline one to me. All your information has to be the same on all credit reports for each credit bureau. So I think that's one we see a lot across the board.
Yeah, very interesting. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about what the top level thing. What's the big thing that people come to you saying, like, Carlos, I need your help with like this thing. I want to repair my credit to do this thing. What's the most common thing people are coming to you saying?
Collection accounts and old accounts. And a majority of them, I think all of them, come to me because they try to make a major purchase. For example, a home or a car, and the lender says, you need to fix your credit. And they're like, I don't have that type of money. And the lender says, go see a credit repair guy, right? And then we help them get the loan. I think, honestly, Alicia, I think everyone has this perception they need a 850 credit score. They just need within 720, 680. Something in there will get them the same value of having that 850 score,
No kidding. Okay. So for the people who are listening and they're thinking like, okay, like I need to buy, I want to buy a house or I want to buy a car. How long? So they get rejected for a loan, let's say, and they come to you for help. How long does it typically take for this stuff to get corrected and then they can go and get approved?
That's a tricky question to answer, only because on the average, it takes 4 to 6 months for that to happen. Some have seen sooner, but it fluctuates so much, right? Because each person has different results and it depends on what needs to be done. So within our practice, we try to do 4 to 6 months. By this time, we've identified what we can and can't do and what you need to do on your end. Because credit repair is just not one-sided. It's a partnership, right? So the consumer has obligations too, and that's where the breakdowns sometimes come in at.
Gotcha. Okay, so dependent on the situation, that makes a lot of sense because no one's credit report looks the same. Carlos, tell me about a really cool moment or proud moment that you've had since you've started this and helped people to fix their credit.
The biggest one I always think about, well, two of them. This one is a lady signed up with us. She had no credit. She likes to travel. She rents. She does everything on her credit card, her debit card. So in midst of going through the process, I said, why don't you get a secured card with Capital One and start putting things on there to build her credit. She got in an accident, but because she put that car rental on her Capital One credit card, it covered her damages for the insurance for the car up to $10,000. Which the car got totaled. But if she had did it on her bank card, she'd have been out $10,000 because she would have had to pay. So that's one of my proudest moments, as far as helping people build their credit. And another part is having the people finally get their homes and they call me crying, or the car, right? That's always a very good moment for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible. No doubt to see somebody go from hopeless to like in the life that they were dreaming of having. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
What else do you want people to know about this industry? I know you touched on a little bit on like the idea that there's a lot of scammers out there in this world. What do you really want people to know about working with you and how this is different?
Yeah, working with me is full transparency, so you're not going to be left in the dark. It's not like you sign up and you never hear from me. We do constant checks. And we do our best to make sure you hit the goals that you want to meet. As you say, Alicia, it is a big scam industry. So we are licensed and bonded to do credit repair. We are a legitimate company, and I'm always available to answer any questions. Where I've heard in the past, some companies, you pay them and they disappear, right? We have a presence. We want to be there. We want to help you through the process and just help you in life. I have a lot of people that want to be entrepreneurs, and I teach them how to build a business credit and how to even get an LLC started, right? So it's a lot of things that I can teach them because I taught myself from start to finish myself.
Yeah, which is awesome. I love that. Carlos, tell me a little bit about, so if someone is interested in repairing their credit and they are thinking about working with someone like you on getting this process to be put in place, what's the first thing that they should do?
They should check to see if that company is a legitimate company. I would do the basic Google search to check the reviews. Pay attention to that a little bit. Go onto the state Secretary of State site to see if they're registered. Make sure they have all the credentials in line. And even if you want to go a step further, ask them to see their business license, right? So you can do things like that because we have to disclose that to consumers if they want to.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And then once they make a decision, let's say they make a decision to work with you, what's the first step you take with them?
Yeah, so the first step is I review their credit to identify all the challenges that we might have, I would call opportunities. And then from there, once the agreement is signed, we get to work that same day. So it doesn't sit for a week. We then give them a dedicated account rep, which would be myself, because I'm the only, the one that they're working with. And then honestly, we start working with them. All they have to do as a consumer in our program is send us back all the responses they receive.
Got it. Okay. I love it. So tell me what you're doing to find people to work with at this point. Obviously you're here, you're on the podcast today. What else are you doing to reach out to people?
Yeah, I'm doing some light marketing on like all the platforms. I'm networking with local realtors and lenders. I'm trying to start networking events or attend networking events. I think a big initiative for me next year is to really grow and reach as many people as I can to help them. So I think this podcast is a good start for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you're networking with people who are kind of in adjacent fields from you, realtors. I think loan officers at banks, that's going to be a great connection to make for you. Like really finding those people who are rejecting or seeing the rejected people so that they can send them all to you. That's fantastic. Go ahead.
Yeah. And one thing I like to add to, bad credit doesn't mean that you have to file bankruptcy. I just want people to know that bad credit, you can actually work through it. My credit score was 490 when I started this business, and I'm selling the program and my score is at 490. So it works. And now I can have very good credit. So I think as long as people are patient in the process, we could definitely, any reputable credit company can get you the results that you need.
Yeah. Very cool. That's such a great point. Thank you for making that. I love it. Where do you see 2025 taking you? Where do you want to grow this from here? I know you mentioned 5 million lives changed. What's next?
I might try to do a podcast here. I definitely want to, increase the reach. So I'm probably do a lot of networking events, a lot more platforms as far as live content going on Facebook and things like that, TikTok. Just putting a face to the name. I guess, a lot of people see the name, but they don't know who I am. So that's definitely my goal. Yeah,
I really love that. I don't recommend everybody start a podcast. So everybody listening, please know that that's my disclaimer, first of all. But for this, I'm going to tell you, I really do think that people will trust you if they can see you and hear your voice. When you're putting yourself out there and you're putting your name on your work, like that's a big deal. When you're not kind of like hiding in a dark office in the corner and not ever telling anybody about it. But when you're out there, you're putting your name on it, you're putting your face on it. That's a big deal in this space. So absolutely suggest, do that. Start a podcast. Definitely be doing live video. Definitely be doing video content and sharing this in those like bite-sized ways that people can consume it and really just understand that there is hope and there is a plan and that you can help. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Carlos, this has been so fantastic. And I appreciate you being here. I know people are going to be curious because we have barely scratched the surface. So tell them where they can go if they're interested in learning more about working with you and finding out what they can do to repair their credit.
Right. So you can go to www.aimcreditfix.com or you can give me a call at my number is 651-333-7328. If you reference this podcast, you'll get a very good discount for giving us a call and giving us a chance to work with you. Even if you want a free consultation without even signing up, I'll be more than happy to do that also.
That is fantastic. I will link everything that you've mentioned in the show notes so that people can click and find it easily. The number, everything will be linked below. So if you're listening and you're interested, head to the show notes and take advantage of that. Carlos, thank you so much for being here. It's been a great episode. Thanks for being on.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.
Yeah, you as well. For everyone listening, I know you found value in today's episode. We would love it if you would like and subscribe and also share this with someone else so that they can get this value too. And if you would like to be on the podcast, there's a link in the show notes for that as well. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next one.